Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Piglet here once again, and I'm Mickey Mouse here. We are back for some more of the Muxy Toys, and welcome back to more Let's Play of Super Smash Bros. Melee from the Nintendo GameCube. So last time we managed to actually come across into Adventure Mode as Zelda/Sheik. And today for this episode, we're about to return back into Classic Mode. However, we might take a break on the Adventure Mode for the time being, because obviously we got a different mode to tackle through once we actually did showcase those two different characters first in during the classic mode. So you remember how we actually did before that we actually did tackle the rest of the 8 original characters from Super Smash Bros. 64. This time around though, we're going to be picking another 4 from the original N64 Super Smash Bros. This means we're actually going to be tackled through Luigi, Ness, Captain Falcon, and Jigglypuff, which are essentially unlockable characters from the N64 installment. Well, weirdly enough though, is that in Super Smash Bros. Melee though, is that both Luigi and Jigglypuff are the only characters are unlockable characters. Whilst Ness and Captain Falcon, however, are basically unlocked from the get-go, which this means you actually get those two characters from the start. The same goes to how it does it in Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Wii U and Nintendo 3DS. Although, the 3DS version most likely, because Luigi's actually unlocked from the get-go, or when you start the game off, you actually get Luigi from the start, and also Captain Falcon as well. But then the unlockable characters in the 3DS version of Super Smash Bros., which will have to be Ness and Jigglypuff. However, in Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Wii U, that means you actually get the original 12 characters unlocked right off the start, which this means you actually have Luigi from the start, Jigglypuff from the start, Ness from the start, and even Captain Falcon from the start. Which is kind of impressive if you ask me. So, now we're gonna be actually just to team up with somehow Princess Peach, but somehow she was in Daisy's costume. But even though today for this episode we're about to be just to go to classic mode and select Luigi this time. And basically what Luigi can handle, he behaves exactly like how he does it before, except the fact that obviously side special attack is actually introduced in this game. So even then though he still performs a the up B jump attack, and then basically in his down B attack, he can actually perform a Luigi tornado, and then still if he actually uses just a standalone B attack, he'll just basically do just a fireball. However, just like the original game, he only shoots the fireball straight rather than just bounce around all over the place, unlike Mario, and especially Dr. Mario, which we'll get to now in a moment. So anyway. So this is by far the easiest target test level, because everything else, it wasn't as bottomless pit heavy, so instead it's actually entirely based on you actually inside the box, and then we're actually going to be come across into filled with targets themselves, including those little flippers. They'll try to knock you off in the certain points at the center of that platform, which conveniently enough though, for that platform that we saw, that was actually the Nintendo GameCube platform. Which, that's kind of impressive for the time, because just like Super Monkey Ball 2 Master Extra stages, that it has a Nintendo GameCube reference, which is really impressive. And the same goes for the likes of the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D version, because it has like the exact same, although if you actually just locate it, or in this case if you come across into the bomb shop, if you complete one of those side quests, if you actually just probably know. And sadly, we actually lost only one star due to the fact that we actually accidentally touched the bomb by complete accident. But anyways, we face off against with the legendary Pokemon, Mewtwo. But even then though, that eventually, until in Super Smash Bros. For the 3DS and Wii U, that he'll actually get himself a Mega Evolving for those two versions of the game, so that's pretty impressive for the time. So yeah, we're once again going to have to kick a butt of Giant Bowser most likely, with the likes of the teammates are, well, Ice Climbers and even Ganondorf, or Ganondorf from the Legend of Zelda series. So yeah, it's pretty cool for the looks of it. So anyway. Now for a side special attack for Luigi, he can actually perform himself a Luigi Missile, which can only happen at certain points or another. What you can do for that particular technique is by basically you're gonna have to use, you know, the side special attack in order to actually just to perform it. Sometimes it might just help you out whenever you're trying to actually recover yourself from when you don't want to accidentally touch the bottomless pit or something. Other times though, you might actually blast off by a complete accident. There are rare occasions when this happens. So, anyway, of all the characters we actually played in Super Smash Bros. Melee, this is the playable character we used to actually play as the most. Specifically, that it's almost very similar to Mario, but it's quite literally different than Mario. Although, granted, Luigi wasn't exactly a clone character to begin with, though, because even then, though, that his moves are kind of similar, but except the side special attack is a lot different than Mario, so even then, though, he's not a clone character to begin with. And here we have ourselves young Link right there. Thankfully, we did manage to beat him quickly, though, unlike in Samus's department. But anyways, looks like Luigi's gonna beat himself his own brother, specifically, team versions of his brothers, which are Team Mario, so it's kind of interesting to say much for that. So, yeah, a few things we want to mention about certain thing is the fact that we're almost there to close towards the end in November, which this means is that we only got about, how do I recall? We got about, let's just say, 23 days to go? I seriously hate bob-ombs. Hey, I don't know why bob-ombs are everywhere in the matches. I really did not, despite the fact that how it makes it there in the first place. Granted, it might help you with that much, but at the same time, it can ruin your experience if you actually get yourselves a highest percentage for that part. Now, just like the original Super Smash Bros. 64 with Luigi's moveset, that his up B attack can be quite devastating sometimes because he'll just actually send those opponents flying. Like, even for the entire purpose of it. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting to notice that. Come here, Mario. Even though you decide to sacrifice yourself while just accidentally just do that particular move. But anyway, though. So yeah, there's not much else we can say about Luigi, honestly. So, yeah. So, another things we want to mention about certain things is that recently we got ourselves a new Nintendo Wii U game. Granted, it has been released for over a year ago now, which was released originally in 2015. Although, granted, we got 2015 Wii U games at the moment, like Mario Party 10, Super Mario Maker, and especially, what else that came out? Oh yeah, Captain Toad Treasure Track European version, and also Yoshi's Woolly World. And I think that was about it for the most part, but there's actually one game that I'm most specifically interested in 2015. That, ladies and gentlemen, will have to be Splatoon. Now, the reason why we got ourselves the Splatoon for the Wii U... Oh, no. God damn it. Yeah, you only have like one stock in order to actually do this race to the finish, by the way, so... Unfortunately, though, we failed only once, so we could just potentially go for that exit instead. That way we can actually get ourselves a bit of a amount of tokens or points. And speaking of ice climbers that we did previously team up with after sending some giant Bowser that we actually did manage to defeat, now we're gonna have a personal data against them while just actually against the metal themselves. So anyway. So whenever we actually did manage to try out Splatoon now in the online demo version back during the last year, and especially the other term, that we found the game even, although unfortunately though we haven't tried to test that out honestly because we haven't access to online mode. Well, thankfully though, that since we actually got ourselves the final version of the game, so this means we can actually get ourselves the full experience on the single player campaign, which I might actually try to do a let's play on that for some reason, but I don't know why. But even then though, oh, you gotta be kidding me. No, unfortunately we only have two stocks remaining, but at least we're hoping if we actually just to fight against with Crazy Hand and Monster Hand at the same time. Although, granted, we can manage to do that, because even though we don't want to waste our time on that match, unlike how it does it for Link, in this case, Samus's young Link fight, and even for Fox versus Link fight. So I'm hoping that we manage to get there in time. So, yeah, as I said earlier, that of all the characters we actually played in Super Smash Bros. Melee, the same goes for the likes of Super Smash Bros. 64. Luigi's actually probably my favorite fighter in the game. Granted, until when it gets to Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and even Super Smash Bros. 4 of Nintendo Wii U and 3DS, unfortunately though, the fighters' favorites department has been slightly changed up a bit, because after all, Brawl actually introduced Sonic the Hedgehog, and even then though, Sonic was actually one of my favorite fighters in the future installments until now. So yeah, we got some time until we actually face off against with Crazy Hand after all. So, So yeah, we only have 2 stocks to actually deal with those 2 right here, so we'll try our best if we actually can though. Unlike Fox that we actually did manage to got screwed over by the exact same amount of tactics for you know, the Master Hand and Crazy Hand, you know, the grabbing and squeezing you at the same time. That was actually one massive screwage. So, oh well. So we managed to take down the Master Hand very easily, thanks to both of those hands did the exact same move, like they summoned those lasers. So even though it seems rather worthless to actually just use that particular technique, honestly, on Master Hand and Crazy Hand, I don't know why, but even then though, that's probably the main suggestion by that. Alright, so let's keep using these fireballs, even though they might shoot straight. So yeah, I'm quite surprised that we're almost done with Classic Mode in Super Smash Bros. Melee, because after all, and same goes for the likes of the Adventure Mode as well, for specifically the original newcomer characters. Now, as far as the different mode is concerned, now we might actually tackle through the clone characters in All-Star Mode, because granted, although they might act out exactly the same moves, but except the noticeable difference is the different status or something like that. But I forget what I said. So anyway, so yeah, we've now managed to actually finally got ourselves Splatoon, even better late than never, I suppose. It's a good thing too, because after all, Splatoon might actually get ourselves I don't know if it's a port or a sequel onto Nintendo Switch. So I think it's actually a perfect timing to actually get ourselves the Wii U version of Splatoon, which, what I've heard of it, it's actually a lot of fun game, especially in online play. Granted, unfortunately, we don't have ourselves the amiibos with it, because even that it might become expensive nowadays, especially used copies of both Splatoon and the amiibo functions, so yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. So yeah, that was it for Luigi's Classic Mode. He's actually one of my favorite characters to use in the entire game, especially how we're so used to playing as him nowadays, especially compared to, even though we're still a huge fan of playing as Mario throughout. But anyway. Oh yeah, one thing we haven't mentioned about this is that Luigi, much like the original game, Luigi's actually an unlockable character. In order to unlock him is that if you saw like a couple of moments ago in the Adventure Mode, you know in the Mushroom Kingdom level that we actually always been into? Basically what you have to do is basically you have to reach the end of a level. When it gets to XX means the hour or the minutes, and then X2, which then means seconds, which this means you have to make our way to X2 seconds, and then XX milliseconds. So yeah, if you actually do that well enough, like we did that like 3 times for a moment, this way you can actually unlock Luigi. However, you need to actually complete Adventure Mode without using Continue. If you do use it, well, too bad for you. So anyway, so join us next time on Let's Play Super Smash Bros. Melee. We're going to return back to Classic Mode and select the next character, which was Ness. So see you guys next time. Later, fellas. See you guys then.